Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another amazing, exciting combat-heavy episodes of Battlefield 1. Last episode, we experienced the end of Avanti Savoir. We have played with honor, grit, and dignity, serving alongside the Arditi, and experienced the heart-wrenching story of the Cochinola brothers. Only one survived and saw the world gone worse. Today, we're going into the Middle East, what was once known as the sideshow of T.E Lawrence, also known as Lawrence of Arabia. Of all the things that this war has given us, Lawrence of Arabia's campaign in the Middle East was probably the most consequential thing ever, as it laid the groundworks for the modern Middle East and all of its problems, like the wars between Israel and Palestine. All of this, everything that we have today, trace its origin back to this one world war. So let's join. Nothing is written.
In the deserts of Arabia, an insurgency war was raging years before I got to France. Tribes of Bedouins had united to fight a war that was very different from the one we fought in the trenches. Using small mobile units, they challenged the might of an empire, and they were rallied around the ideas of a single, influential warrior. Ideas of freedom and change.
The Arabian Desert, a vast ocean of drifting sands and scorched, sun-baked rocks. Beneath these endless dunes, oil, the lifeblood of our new mechanical century. For more than 400 years, the Ottoman Empire has ruled these lands, controlling all that's to be found here. But the Ottomans do not rule unopposed. Small bands of Bedouin rebels have united to overthrow the empire. They strike without warning and then vanish into the desert. Fighting alongside them is a lone British officer whose exploits have earned him wide renown. The world has taken to calling this man Lawrence of Arabia.
Nothing is written. Man, this is so beautiful. This is like
in the desert.
This is like Doom.
But you also hope for a dash of luck. And luck was with us when we learned of a recently derailed Ottoman train carrying a most interesting piece of cargo. A small patrol had joined the Ottomans who survived the crash. Together, they guarded the wreckage and waited for reinforcements.
Alright, I see the horse. Multiple bad guys. There's a tent there for weapons. We'll have to raid that. Fun fact is that Lawrence of Arabia's campaign in the Middle East was also the partial inspiration for Frank Herbert's Doom.
A lone fighter has just one advantage over a large enemy force. A lone fighter can move unseen. tribesmen fought unconventionally, using weapons they knew well. Endurance, individual intelligence, and courage were their primary assets.
You see, the whole narrative was that you remember how the narrative of Dune, where one Twinkie teenage boy from a far-off water planet coming to some desert bumhole and then turn the entire population there into a powerful insurgency against the Empire? Yeah, that's basically what Lawrence of Arabia did, only he wasn't a Twinkie young boy. He was basically a very capable British officer, the closest thing Great Britain had to a real-life Indiana Jones. What Lawrence did was that, at the time of 1914, he was surveying the Middle East, looking into how the Ottoman Empire has been ruling over the Arab people of the era.
When your enemy has better weapons and better equipment than you, steal from your enemy.
Harekete geçin. Ateş etmeye dikkat et. Arayı kapa.
Initially, the British didn't think that the Ottoman Empire would have joined the Central Power side. However, by 1915 and 1916, that dynamic has changed. By that time, the Ottoman Empire decided to join the Axis side and provide Nazi Germany, Imperial Germany, provide Imperial Germany with the oil needed for their industries. However, that oil is found in one place, Mesopotamia, which is basically Iraq, Kuwait, and maybe some parts of Iran. As a result, the British decided that they need to knock the Ottoman Empire out of the war ASAP. But to do that, they need to do one of two things. Either they assault the Ottoman Empire's capital city of Constantinople that the Ottoman took from the Romans some 400 years prior, or they can stir up rebellions inside the Arabian Peninsula. That works also. However, Lawrence of Arabia, he understands that the Germans are basically, the Ottomans. The Ottomans are very much stretched.
There's a difference between seeing something and having it.
Well, you did not think we would be fast enough to catch you here, did you? Lawrence of Arabia. Actually, I was rather depending on it. Lawrence. Well, this is very clever. Now the hunter becomes the hunted. So who might you be? How enchanting you are, my dear.
I'll show you enchanting. If it weren't for you, I'd be free.
Free, is it? You'll be free when you're dead. And I'm happy to tell you, the Empire intends to grant you all this freedom very soon. Even now, an engine of destruction scours this desert, obliterating your allies, your families, your homes. Soon there will be nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide. Soon all that you know, and all that you love, will be ashes. You will all be free.
understand that you would like nothing more than to strip the flesh from that man's feet and send him off into the desert naked to die. But think about it.
You're right.
I'm sorry. My friend here, she can be a little brusque.
You're going to tell me how to lie to your train so we can lure it into a trap and destroy it.
Impossible. To even begin to talk to that train, you would need an entire book of communication codes.
Oh, like this one, you mean?
You can never stop the progress of machines. One day, the whole world will take your lands and the precious black gold beneath its sands.
We shall see, my friend. Of course,
yes, that was
obtaining
true.
the code book was not enough. To destroy this iron dragon, this Canavar, as the Ottomans had named it, we had to send it 3 encrypted messages telling it to stand down. There were Ottoman outposts scattered along the railroad tracks. The commanders there carried high-priority message capsules. We had to use those to send our orders. Infiltrating the village wouldn't be easy. A full detachment of Ottoman soldiers had occupied it. The Ottomans had chosen an isolated location for their desert outpost. It seemed lightly defended. It was also well stocked with arms and equipment. The ancient ruins were all that remained of a civilization now lost to time. The Ottoman Empire brought in the modern world with a host of armored vehicles and field guns. 3 commanders to eliminate, 3 personal message capsules to be stolen, and then sent with our false orders. How Zara tackled this dangerous and audacious mission was up to her.
Alright, let's inspect our battlefield here. Over there is an ancient ruins, possibly Romans giving the area we found it in. Weapons outpost further out. And a village over there. So in this era, the Bedouin Arabs were basically mobile fighters.
Those animals granted their riders unparalleled speed and mobility.
They know that they cannot take the Ottomans' armored trains head on. That'd be suicidal. What they did instead was to launch a very lightning hit and run operations. They would attack the Ottoman They would instead demolish the Ottoman rails and then run away as fast as possible. This way, now at first it doesn't seem like it's going to do anything much. However, what it does is that it will slowly sap the Ottomans' ability to, respond. When more and more resources were devoted to the repairing the rail tracks, then you're basically in a bad situation. And now imagine doing that instead of just one place, doing that across a vast trackless deserts of the Arabian Peninsula. The funny thing was that T.E Lawrence was told by his superiors that yours will be a very amusing sideshow, and then they basically realized that Lawrence was scoring unfathomable success with the Arab tribes. One of them was King Faisal from the. Some of them were basically from the Hashemite clan, the very direct descendants of the Prophet. Let me see if I can bring out the binoculars for this one. Ah, here it is. Key bindings. We don't have binoculars here. Very odd. Okay, looks like we're clear. Oof. Nothing here. Still need to search that place for the commander. Moving around the Renault tank. Uh-oh. Suppressive. Rocket gun.
Burada olduğunu biliyorum. Teslim olursan sana iyi muamele ederim. Teslim olursan söz işkence etmeyeceğim sana. Sik kafalılık yapma oğlum.
Gotcha. One down,
A
two
single
to go.
order wouldn't be enough. Ottoman protocol required the message to be received in triplicate before the train would acknowledge it.
Let's just explore this little camp for a bit. Ooh. Tripwire bomb. HE. 1918 trench. I mean. P08 artillery. Interesting.
Sıçarım öyleyse. Ne diye buraya takip edildi ki?
There he is. You need to get around so we can enter unseen.
Yüzbaşı beni sevmiyor. Başkasını anlat. Paşa, bir zamanla da bitti. Bak demedi deme. Bu yüzbaşı benim başımı yakacak. Ne yaptıysak artık.
Can't climb up until he's gone. You can take him out. Wait, he's moving away. That's better.
Bizim hudutlar fazla için onlar olur. Tedbirli olmak lazım. Yoksa sonumuz Romalılara benzer.
Flamethrower, guys.
Şuradaki ceset mi lan?
We're really pushing our luck here.
Pes et! Diğer taarruzcular geliyor. Sıvışamazsın artık. Mıntıkayı iyice teftiş eyleyin. Akabinde gidelim.
All right, another one.
We were putting a great deal of trust in Zara's capabilities, but I had complete confidence that she would carry the day.
No way we can take him on. You have to be smart about this. Avoid him. Slinking away. One of the things that the Bedouin tribe did was basically when they were assaulting through, when they were starting to gain momentum against the Ottoman Empire, they managed to assault all the way across the province of Palestine. Yes, province, not nation, province. And afterwards, they basically took over the whole area. So they think that maybe this is the time when we can finally start our very own pan-Arab empire. Except for one problem though. The British basically mangle every single agreement that they made. They overpromise and underdeliver. Typical, like just like every video game's development nowadays. There he is.
Bana bırakın! Seni bulacağım. Seni geberteceğim.
See, the message had already been sent, my dear. Not the message you would have wanted. T.E Lawrence was such a good host. It almost seemed rude to escape. Made sure to note the location of Lawrence's camp, of course. Which means the train knows too. Twice, you told that train everything was clear. But I told it exactly where to attack.
The beast has your scent, my dear. And it's coming to slaughter you and your little band of rebels. First, the firestorm from the cannon. Then, up close with the troops to slaughter any survivors. The legend of Lawrence of Arabia dies tonight.
slipped away just in time. Tilkitchi was a fool to think we'd ever stay after he escaped.
The carnival won't stop hunting us.
No, it won't. Let me think.
The train's coming a long way. So it'll have to stop to take on water. That's where we strike.
Agreed. I'll deal with any sentries, then rig explosives on the track.
Yes, and I'll rally our fighters.
When I blow the lines, the train will be trapped. So when you hear the blast, you need to attack them with everything you have.
It's good. But you know that there's a chance the men may not come. You may set off those explosives and find you're out there all alone. You know that.
I guess I won't know either way until I set it off.
Man makes plans and God laughs. As it turned out, the small town where we would ambush the train had a significant enemy presence. Those troops would have to be dealt with before the explosives could be set.
Silencer, huh? Interesting. Oh, really? All right. After that little commotion, let's see what we got. One juggernaut. Got him. All right, they're coming off. Oh. Zara Gufran, 1882-1918. So she's a little bit older than most of the soldiers that we play as in the prologue.
Man makes plans and God laughs. As it turned out, the small town where we would ambush the train had a significant enemy presence. Those troops would have to be dealt with before the explosives could be set.
Perfect. Elevated position. See what we got. Boy, that's a big garrison. Back then, these deserts need. If there's a settlement, then that means there's water. If there's water, then it must be held at all costs. Because let's be real, you can have all the oil barrels on the planet, but all those barrels are gonna be nothing if you don't have water. Water for your people to live, work, and everything else in between. It's basic biology. But at the dawn of the 20th century, oil was becoming an extremely valuable commodity. Without it, factories grind to a halt. Vehicles, the growing fleet of trucks and logistics, would not be in existence. Avoid engaging that guy in armor first. Take out everyone else. Good. Now he's all alone. Darn. Got him. But he's still alive. Catch me if you can. Now that's one hell of an explosive early retirement. This is gonna be useful. Additional explosive. Target destroyed.
Once Zara secured the town, the trap could be set for the arriving train.
So, did the Ottoman use these armored trains like this? Well, yeah, they did. It was practically the best way to maintain security on the move around the deserts like this. If you try to play the same game as the Bedouins, chances are you're gonna lose. And you're gonna lose very hard because the Bedouin, not only do they know the land very well, but they also have better horsemen. Better horses, better horsemen overall. Whoa. That's a bit too hard, man. When you think about it, everything that was designed back in the 1910, they really inspired the look and feel of Doom. And that's because Frank Herbert wants to use the Ottoman Empires, the Byzantine, and the endless desire for gold for oil back in the day, as a way to basically say, no matter how advanced humanity gets into the future, we'll just go back to do the exact same thing over and over. No way! I can't believe they put out all those anti-tank guns and you can't even use them. Now we're getting blown up. First deployed in American Civil War. That's true. We need to move! Yeah, we got him! We slay the armored dragon.
Vengeance can be a sweet or bitter brew. How did you find it, Zara? And you're right, we do need to think bigger, act bigger. Maybe even the Suez Canal. Tell me, what do you know about battleships?
This is Denis Villeneuve Doom right here. Denis Villeneuve Doom in the early 20th century. The OG inspiration. Hope you like what you saw today. Join me next time as we go back to the very beginning, through mud and blood. And then we'll continue on, The Runner, and Friends in High Places. I'll see you then.